folks, Jimmy here, aka Pallet of the Dead. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to the latest issue of Warhammer 40k Imperium magazine. Now, as per usual with all these videos, if you like them, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and of course drop us a comment down below. Love hearing back from you guys, and it goes a massive way to help the channel too. Now, this week we're on issue 69 of Imperium magazine, and we get part 1 of 2 for Marneus Calgar and the Victrix Honor Guard. Now, with this, on this sprue, you cannot build a full model out of the 3 that you get on here, because there are parts on the other sprue that you are going to need, including things like the head, parts of the fists and stuff like that as well. So here's one of them ones. So you will need both parts before you can really build him up. But Marneus Calgar, absolutely fantastic hero of the 41st millennium, and a pretty damn cool one as well. Now, with this one, I will say he is going to be very difficult. If you are not doing Ultramarines, he's going to be tough to convert to any other faction within the Space Marines or any other chapter. So, because of all the iconography, he has obviously the Ultramarines logo icon on the belt buckle, on the back of Power Fists, on the shoulder pads, and other parts to him. They're on the Victrix Honor Guard, they're on the end of the leather tassels that are hanging down, and such like. So, very difficult to adapt into other armies. With that said, because I am not doing Ultramarines, I of course chose to do good old Sons of Medusa. I will do him as an Ultramarine instead, because yeah, I don't fancy trying to remove all of them icons, in all honesty, because it'll be too difficult. If you've got the skill to do it, by all means do it, but I genuinely think that'll be a pain in the backside, so I'm going to carry on and do him as an Ultramarine. So really good stuff though, an ultra detailed model though, really cool. Into the issue we go, though. We are of course greeted by Marneus Calgar, the chapter master of the Ultramarines. So the Ultramarines chapter has produced many great heroes. Even amongst such august company, Marneus Calgar stands tall, for few figures have won so many crucial victories for the Imperium. As Lord of Macragge, Marneus Augustus Calgar's word is law throughout Ultramar. His decisions set precedent not only for the Ultramarines, but their successor chapters too. Such responsibility weighs heavily upon the chapter master. There are even very few foes of humanity that Calgar has not confronted in battle. He slew the Tyrannid Swarmlord at the Battle of Ikar IV. He single-handedly held the line against waves of orcs at the Siege of Zalthras. And he defeated the Eldari Avatar at the Battle of Oranor Sepulchre. All of this was before undergoing potentially lethal surgery that transformed him into a Primaris Space Marine. And it seems very likely that Marneus Calgar will achieve yet greater glories in the decades of war to come. So, with Marneus Calgar, he is outfitted with the Gauntlets of Ultramar, a pair of master-crafted power fists fitted with potent bolt weapons. These deadly weapons have torn apart alien monsters, heretic Astrates, and countless other foes besides as well. And we also get more information about his history and lore as well, with him being a peerless strategist, having the Victrix Honor Guard, which are elite veterans of the chapter as well, accompanying him as he goes, and being a very crucial chapter master as well. Then we find out some more information about the Space Marines and their history, including their ancient origins. So, of course, the Space Marines have battled the Emperor's enemies for more than 10,000 years. The first of their number were formed into legions, each many thousand strong. Though these legions no longer exist, their genetic legacy continues into the 41st millennium. So, if you were unaware, the Emperor created the Space Marines, and it is only thanks to the Emperor that they exist. Only he knew the subtle arts and complex nuances of genecraft, and it was his vision that led to the creation of the Primarks and the Gene Sons that followed from them. So, if you're interested in things like this as well, Horus Heresy deals with a lot of this, because this is all to do with first founding. So the first founding includes a lot of cool units as well, so, and their colour scheme. So if you want the good old Horus Heresy box set or anything like that, and you're not sure which army you want to do, this is a little bit of a teaser for you, so it gives you a bit of tricks in here. So you have things like Thousand Suns. Obviously, they've changed from now. Because they are one of the heretics, they have changed into blue armour from their original red colour scheme. The Dark Angels from black to green, and such like. So, some of them have stayed exactly the same, including things like pretty much Ultramarines. They've stayed very, very similar with that blue armour. The white scars, of course, stayed with white armour, and much, much more. But really, really cool stuff as well. And there are a couple of unknown units in there as well. And of course, the Black Legion, which was led by Abaddon for Black, being one of the traitor legions and stuff like that as well, which continue to plague the Imperium over time as well. So none of them have been eradicated. But yeah, really, really good stuff, and a bit more information as well if you like your lore. Then we move on, we find out more information about the forces of the 41st Millennium and the Space Marine vehicles, for instance. And this is all to do with tracked battle tanks. So, of your tracked battle tanks, there are the Predators. The Predator is the main core design for them, and of course this has all based on top of the Rhino chassis that you can get hold of as well. So the Predator is one such machine. The battle tank itself can be armed in many different fashions. It is rugged, moderately resistant, and a fairly swift vehicle as well at the same time. So there are different Predators that you can have. So you can have a Predator Destructor. So this is a turret-mounted Predator autocannon, and is often outfitted with heavy bolter sponsons on either side. And it has that single barrel as well, so really, really cool stuff. Then there is also the Predator Annihilator as well, which is a twin las cannon turret, instead with las cannons on the sponsons on the side as well, making it a very effective tank hunter itself. And then there are also things like the Ball pattern Predators. So the Ball pattern Predators coming from the Blood Angels more than anything, and they do have some general differences as well with them. So they have kind of different flamers, they might have melter weapons and such like, and slightly different autocannons from the usual as well. So really, really good stuff, but pretty damn cool. So it's not too bad. And then on the other page we get more information about some of the other tracked vehicles, so including the Vindicators, which are these complete siege weapons as well. So they have this big massive cannon on the front designed to literally blow holes in buildings, and then the blade, that kind of dozer blade on the front, to sweep aside any sandbags, rubble and such like, to just plough through any defences. And of course, with all your different tanks, you can actually have different weapon platforms. So you can have things like the Whirlwind, Stalker, and even Hunter. Some of these are kind of your long range and even anti-air as well, and even anti-infantry. So really, really cool stuff there. So pretty damn good. If you want a bit more information about the Rhino though, we have it here. So we have the transport vehicles of the Space Marines as well, including Rhinos, which is your standard chassis. So pretty much most Space Marine chapters will have a Rhino or two in their arsenal, or even more than that, so they can use them as troop transport. So they can fit a bunch of Space Marines in there, so they can just move them around on the battlefield pretty easily. The chassis itself is obviously the basis for a lot of these different weapons, and they also do have others, including things like the Razorbacks, which have these cannons on top as well as being a troop transport if needed. But really, really good stuff. And then on the other page we have things like your Land Raiders as well, which are kind of great kind of crusade vehicles as well that have existed for a long, long time, and even your drop pods as well. So all minis that you can pick up if you need to. So if you want to bulk out a Space Marine army, if you're going to go Space Marines, definitely worth picking some of these up. I have a drop pod myself from a long time ago. I haven't got a Land Raider, but I have got a Rhino or two. So really, really good stuff there. And then we go through, we find more information, we're getting some information about Rogue Trader. So Rogue Trader used to be a game kind of a bit, and you can get Rogue Trader minis still, but they're really, really cool, and you get a bit of information, so a lot of going through them as well. So your Rogue Traders, this is a pretty decent read. I've not had a chance to read all of it yet, so I'm not going to go through it too much, but there are some interesting characters as well, which you can get from things like Blackstone Fortress, and stuff like that as well, and even things like your Rogue Trader and Necromunda and characters that appear in other different game modes and game systems that you can utilise as well. So really, really cool stuff, and even your do's and don'ts of a for the aspiring Rogue Trader as well. So really cool there. And then we've got a how to build guide. So we get a how to build guide this week although we can't build all of it. And then, in all honesty, next week we get the painting guide and some few other bits and pieces for it as well. So really cool stuff, and yeah, pretty decent. So we get a 50mm base and 40mm bases. So your Honor Guard will be on 40mm, Marneus on 50mm, because he stands out a little better and has that big wide stance as well. So really cool stuff there. Then we move on, we get updated rules for the Space Marines and their Warlord traits. Pretty cool, pretty decent, and very handy to have as well, including their shoot and fade kind of ability and much more. And then we get our mission for the week. So if you're playing the battles along with it week by week, 75 power, 2 deployment zones, hold your center ground, and it is yeah, a pretty good one as well, so not too bad there. Before we go though and go through the last bits, we have a pull-out section as well, so the Rise of a Primark and the Gathering Storm. So we get a bit of information about all the different people within the 41st millennium. So we have the Triumphant of Primark as well, including Cypher, Robert Gilliman, and Aldrich Voldus. Probably said all of them wrong, but who knows, who cares. But you have really good stuff. Fantastic minis as well. We get Ultramar, Defiant for Warstorm, and Rise of the Primark as well. Loads of lore in this section, so really definitely worth having a read through. And if you want to go through any more of it, we have Varo Tigarius, Marneus Calgar, and Cato Sicarius. And you even get a bit of information about the Agents of Chaos, including Magnus for Red and Kairos Fate Weaver as well, a Greater Demon of Zeech. So really cool stuff there, and definitely worth having a read through if you like your lore and history of especially the 41st millennium. Definitely worth having a nosy through. And then finally, next week of course we get part 2 of our Ultramarines good old Victrix Honor Guard and Marneus Calgar. We get the full paint guide, and we also get more information about the Rise of Primarchs as well, so really good stuff. So we get a bit more lore and history about them, and also the details for the Victrix Honor Guard and our data sheet as well, so really cool. Parts like issue 71 and 72 also include a two-parter as well, to make life more awkward. But yeah, so we'll get 5 Necron Lich Guard. So the Lich Guard can be made into other units as well, so you don't have to be kind of stuck with Lich Guard. You can make them Praetorians, or Praetors I think they're called. Up to you, really. But you're going to need parts 1 and 2 to build the whole set. Again, which is sometimes frustrating, but really cool units, and definitely ones that stand out as well with your good old Necrons, so really good stuff. But other than that, thank you very much for watching. Hope you have a great new year, and I shall see you sometime soon. Bye bye now.